Hi, babe.
What's
How are
poppin'?
you?
I'm good, I'm good. Taking in some sunlight. New York could be a gloomy place sometimes, so I feel like back at home for you too, right?
The same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In Amsterdam, it can be very, very come and go, but it's sunny today, so I actually wore these for you. I'm not
Oh
playing.
my God, New York. If New York was a show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, First and foremost, congratulations on Dickscipline, girl. Like this song, you as well in the video, giving all the sauce.
I feel like on a regular basis, I look so opposite of the video, like hyper glamorized. So it's always fun to watch it because I don't feel like I'm watching myself either. I'm like, oh wow, she's cute.
Very cute, but I mean, it's a good base to build on. That's basically what happened there. The DNA is there, and I think that you look gorgeous. I just love the video.
Thank you.
You know, the first time that I ever got introduced to you was the song "Body."
Yes,
I found this song on Vimeo, and I played it forever. I still play it to this day
that's so
um,
fun.
because that song is amazing, babe.
Oh wow, thank you so much. At the time, the song Body, which is still a lot of my memo today and my agenda, it's really just reclaiming ownership of a body that is typically not considered in conversation, appreciated, or loved on out in the open. So a lot of my music is surrounded around reclaiming ownership of my existence. Because oftenly Black queer bodies kind of people are aware that they exist, but they don't give them all of the
The justice.
yeah, the justice, right. We don't get all of the justice, the attention, the appreciation that everyone deserves as an existing body. So often, our bodies are misconstrued as a lifestyle. So, but it's not a lifestyle, it's an existence, right? So Body was simply that. It was reclaiming my sexuality, the ownership of my Black body. A lot of the lyrics to the naked eye might just seem like explicit and like, urban and rap. But, to somebody who identified with body like you did, you were able to dissect the lyrics for a lot more than what they were.
Welcome to my body. Get into my body, but don't tell nobody.
And
Babe,
show my body, right?
body and daddy. Like I still live this.
Yes, yes.
Like,
So that's what it's about. So then today, Dickscipline is basically about the same thing. Dickscipline is about me demanding what I need versus me always catering to what people need to
hold
make
on
my
though.
body.
Before we go all the way into discipline, I want to talk morphin time first. Because
Yes, yes.
I couldn't like for me it's not just the lyrics and you, it's also the music you choose to put into it and then also what the words mean. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like you have your own dictionary and it's yours and you're educating us on your world and on your experiences of it. And I only feel, do you know what I mean? Like what honor to be able to live in the same world as you and experience body going into morphin time, going into um sorry baby, fem
Femme Queen, yes.
babe, like you're not just building a legacy, like you've literally within music done it. You for me built up your journey through these songs and through this experience at those times that you created them as well.
Yes,
Basically, like Morphin Time, you were on a hiatus when you created this, I think.
I was. So Morphin Time it was kind of an intermediate track. The title was very literal, and I always hoped and prayed that people understood that. It was a time that I was morphing, like the butterfly, stepping out of her cocoon. That was a part of that. So that was kind of me just peeking out of my cocoon, making sure y'all bitches was still watching.
And we were, and we were.
Yeah, and then after that, I was able to confidently take a step fully back to really work on myself. Once I was able to like engage with Morphin Time, I was like, okay, we're all on the same page now. According to popular belief or the popular opinion is we're not meant to be here for a long time, right?
Exactly.
So tragedies happen sooner than later for us. A lot of our favorite Black queer icons just disappear off of the face of the earth when we look back on them and try to do our research. So that's why I want to just encourage our generation to document every step of the way, you know.
Which is exactly what I'm doing. I really do have to say that watching Body, listening to Morphing Time, watching you grow, even like babe, Femme Queen for me, I was screaming. I showed it to all of my straight friends. I was like, y'all fucking with hip hop and you should be listening to this. You should be promoting this. This is hip hop. This is it. I've even been asked recently, is street culture dead? Because it's being so obviously commercialized, hyped. I mean, white people can basically buy a look. As you said, we're being commoditized in a way. For me, like looking at you, looking at your video, listening to your music is showing me that street culture is not dead. It's showing me that the way that I was raised and the way that my family is surviving is not dead. We're real. We're here. Yes, we're being ostracized, we're being murdered. It's all happening, but we're not disappearing. So this documentation that you're talking about, something that both of us lacked growing up, seeing our own peers doing because they didn't have the means to. I'm doing exactly that.
The ghetto still exists.
I mean, for real, they would really have to do, like the world would have to shift many, many different shades for that to be able to not exist anymore, for us to really get out of that.
I agree.
Baby, you shared on your story on Instagram not too long ago that you were watching Veneno.
Yes.
Because of you, I started watching that. It really changed how I look at cinema as a whole.
For me, the pride and joy came from the ability to know that that is now a part of the archive of our story and we will forever be able to reference it. I found out about Veneno. My very first album is somewhere on the internet if you dig deep enough, but I did sample her and there was a part in my album that said, she said explicitly in Spanish, "Yo no soy mujer, yo soy un pedazo de maricón y una transexual." So basically what that says is like, you know, I'm not a woman. I don't want to take womanhood away from anyone, but what I am is something that you're not. So respect that as well, you know? Exactly. So that was really powerful at the time for me. And then all these years later, fast forward, the story resurfaces, right? So I already had done a lot of research on her. She already was living rent-free in my head. To me, in my opinion, in my journey, she was still alive. When the docuseries came out, I was just impressed by quality. I said, here we fucking go. This is a testament to the fact that if you care enough, you can put production into our stories, right? Because very often our stories are just marginalized the same way our economy is marginalized, our existence, our bodies, our stories. It's just, we're getting the short end of the stick all the time, right? So when I saw this high quality, super HD, like, you know, just glitz and glamorous production, I said, wow, look at this. It just makes you think about how much went into the story. So it gave me so much hope to know that yes, if somebody cared enough and if somebody, you know, proposed the right story, we could get the right love and attention on camera. And then the second thing that really inspired me was how direct and accurate and mirrored the whole story was. And then to know how many trans people they hired was just impeccable. I mean, I watched a lot of the behind the scenes and down to the makeup, to the hair, to the stylist, all trans folks. It just brings you back to the place of this shirt, you know?
Yes, babe, this shirt.
Yes, that's right.
Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, and it says, y'all better quiet down. On the back of it, I have literally, I want to show you actually.
Let me see.
2018, baby.
Oh my God, that's epic.
It's the name of all our followers.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my God, please send. Oh my God.
I'm gonna make you one and I'm gonna send it to you. Definitely.
Yes.
I was very lucky to be able to meet you in Amsterdam.
Yes, yes. It was
on the weed on the boat.
Yes, it was one of the most grounding touring experience I had. And it was just so real and relatable. I felt like we were really like family. So
you allowed me to dance with you on stage, babe. I will never forget.
Good times, good times.
It was really, really amazing. Are you allowed to talk about new music? And is this something that you want to talk about? Can we expect an album in the near future?
All I can say is that yes, I am working on new music. I wanted to redesign a lot of the music that people fell in love with me with. Like Body is one of those songs. So
Ooh, I will die. The ode that it is to the legacy of hip hop. I feel like somebody like DMX would be proud. Do you know what I mean?
that's very powerful. I recently just co-teach the class at the University of Massachusetts for gender studies and hip hop, and um that was a big part of it. I mean, how do my favorites feel about me, and why do I rap? And I rap for the same reason that everybody else rapped or started to rap, which is to rise above suppression and oppression, right? It's Rap is simply meant to be an act of liberation, of self-liberation. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, how would my favorites feel? But of course they will probably be distracted by so much more than just the music and the craft. But I think that's really imperative, and I hope that I'm able to, like, just tap that bubble.
I feel like that is what you do, and I would really, really, really advise you not to care too much because, darling, you are it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the voice of the people, like really in the broader sense of the word.
And
So
that's
I'm just
that's the goal. That's
hella
the goal.
excited.
That's why when a lot of people, ask me like, oh, so what are your goals? Or what, I'm like, I made it already. I made it. So the people that I care about, I'm legend. That's all that matters.
Hands down. Obviously, our voices, especially if you go back home, like if we go back to where we come from, they're not being heard as much. You're Dominican Cuban.
Mhm.
I was born in Curacao.
When I think of our countries and I think of queer brown people in our country, it's like we know what can happen to us. We're just lucky that it hasn't happened. So we live a lot of our time, just hoping that the worst doesn't happen.
Exactly.
And I hope that we're able to have that conversation internationally at some point without only focusing on how hard it is out here. You know what I mean? I hope that maybe these young queer brown kids in these countries get to see how to celebrate versus how to survive or how to protect. You know what I mean? Because that is so exhausting. And I genuinely don't think that we were put on this earth to protect ourselves at that capacity, right? I just want us to tap into something that we love or tap into something that we're capable of. The trauma porn is not necessary anymore. We are so aware. And I think that the same thing is happening with just Black people in general. I mean, now it's a really big trend here. And I'm sure that well, yeah, from where you're from, cosplay and, like, black facing is just a whole nother fucking category here. Yeah, here they do it in a more, like, creative and film noir kind of way. It's trending. We have so much, like, movies. And I guess it's fine in essence because movies are only based on current events and what's happening and what's trending, but it's so unfortunate that the fatalities of brown bodies is what's trending. So that's what a lot of movies and series are about.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible thing. I mean, you scroll anywhere on Amazon and it's like the number one show in the US, a show about Black people getting tortured to move out of a
Them
neighborhood.
exactly.
And I think that Veneno was a great initiative to, just us being able to see that in that light.
Exactly.
I would love to see it told in the essence of brownness.
We're gonna work on that.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that. But
We're
and
gonna-
I mean, and no, quite frankly, I've been trying to do it for the past 6, 7 years, and I think it works. But we deserve to see other outlets and other versions collectively, internationally, and wherever else we exist in the universe, whether it's another planet or not. We really just want to be left alone. We can handle this. We can
exactly.
handle this. I know that this life is hard, but we can handle it. Trust me.
I'm just waiting this Corona vibes out so that I can
Exactly.
exactly reconnect. Sending you the
Okay.
love.
Love.
Bye, baby.
Bye, baby.